Okay, as you have seen, I finished a sweater. I love it so much. So first things first, this is a sweater, actually a pattern, not sweater. It's a pattern designed by Andrea Mowry, and on the screen over here I'm going to give you the RAVELRY page to see how things go. So basically this is a fingering weight sweater, so you needed a fingering weight for a color work and for contrast color and main color. And this is such a bummer because this sweater is not for me, and that's the bummer only. This is for my friend, and this is size 2. And as you can see on the screen, there are a few sizes of that, so quite a good pattern. And it is a top-down sweater, so you can put it on and try as you knit it. Well, if you're knitting it for yourself. But I didn't, so that was a quite a challenging and stressful thing, which probably went a little bit on my tension because the pattern calls for 24 stitches, and normally that's what I get with the fingering. Obviously not every fingering you will get the same thing, but it looks that I went over here to 26 stitches in my gauge, which means that I could squeeze more. That means something shrinks. So I was knitting it for 80 centimeters bust, and so the idea was to knit size 2 because that would give you, I think, 96, I think. Anyway, I don't know where my phone is. So I thought that would be really cool. But I think, you see, even though when I put it flat and measure, it gives me, I think, 81, when it's just flat, not put on, I think I could actually squeeze it myself. I'm like 100 centimeters in my bust, so I think everything will be okay. Oh, basically, I knitted almost this thing in a day, this thing in 2 days, yeah. And then I had a break approximately a few days to start sleeves. When I start sleeves, I was knitting them kind of a bit here and there. Maybe I have a few photos from Instagram because I share my progress over there. And I stopped for a bit because I knew I have to have 57 centimeters for the sleeves. And I didn't believe myself, so I waited for a bit, and then I decided, you know what, I'll go and do it. And I think we have 57 over here. So, but obviously it depends where the color lines. So I asked my friend to measure it from the collarbone, just to, you know, just to be okay with that. And hopefully everything works well. I obviously waited a bit also to finish my project by finishing with my tag. And this is 2020. And hopefully she will take some photos that I can share how it fits her. So that would be really, really cool to see. I used my leftovers. Basically, I had 2 skein left from this sweater. So this sweater is White Horse, I think, sweater. That's the name, I think. But it is not a fingering sweater. It is a DK weight sweater. It's just I hold it. This yarn double, and believe it or not, I have leftovers. I'm going to include it to the gift for the recipient to hold it, just in case there would be a hole or anything like that. I'm happy to fix it, but sometimes you need a yarn to do so. And by the way, the last sweater that I knitted was pan sweater on the screen, and so I'll leave a link down below to the video if you're interested to knit that one. And I went to the post office, put a backpack and cut a small bit in it. Then I had to fix it. So on the screen is a video. I know that should be double T over that. But anyway, so how did I fix it? And basically I fix it with a bit of yarn and no knots involved. So that's that. So I'm going to include this and maybe there's information. So this is America yarn. We have 25% super fine alpaca, 55% merino wool, and 20% viscose. So it has a really nice drape, and I think this, even though we're getting a warmer weather, we have a warmer weather. The morning are chilly, and the evenings could be also chilly, and it's something to pop it on. It's perfect, or even just wear like that. I think she would love it. So that's that. The color is CR14. So on the screen now, all the information just for future generations to know. And the yarn is amazing. It has that, I could knit with it all the time, to be honest. It's amazing that alpaca, merino and viscose does something like this. And it's a tweed, so I love it. I love it so much. I'm such a fan of tweed, you know. Here it is as it knits up. so thrilled about it. Hopefully you can see it too. And it works pretty well with this color. And the other one is not white. It's this beautiful yarn. I lost the tag already. And this is my leftover from the long line cardigan that I knitted, on the screen now, link down below. And I wore it maybe once or twice, to be honest, that cardigan. So I'm thinking of frogging it. But first I have a few sweater quantities of yarn, so we shall see how it goes. Let me know, what would you do? Would you frog it and knit something new with it, or give it to someone? I'm not sure. Go check that video and see how I look in it. Maybe a topic for episode 97. We shall see how it goes. So anyway, this is the yarn that I have leftovers, and this is fingering. Beautiful yarn. On the screen I have more information. This is Circastonic handmade yarn from Australia, and I know someone asked me, have I ever knitted with Australian yarn, and I wasn't sure, and then I was like, yeah, I did. So yeah, this is beautiful. I think it's dove color, if I remember it. It's a beautiful, I think it's more merino over here. I'm just guessing now because it's so fluff and nice. But that's my thing in regards to color work. I know the idea is that you should, the best way when people say that they work with the sweater, to have the same yarn here and the same yarn over here. As you can see, you don't have to. You can play with your leftovers and will look really lovely. Obviously, from certain reasons, we try to play with the same content. As you can see, I don't. And then some people say that you should also play with the same thickness of the yarn. And in this case, I would say, without having labels, that my contrast color is thicker. And basically, I like to have that way, because even though, let's say, I'm not a great in color work, the contrast color will pop because, well, it's thicker, so it will pop. So naturally it will pop. So I love it so much. I can't recommend this pattern more. Such a nice knit. There is a chart, there are instructions, flawless pattern, and yeah, it was such a pleasure to knit. Love it so much. Thank you. So I got the pattern on RAVELRY, so I'll leave the link down below. I got it during a big discount, as I'm how do you call it? Well, I follow newsletter, that's how you say it, newsletter. So there was like a 50% off, so that's why I got it, because it was so beautiful. I didn't have a feeling that I would knit it for myself, and that's basically the thing. It was just such a pleasure to be able to knit for someone else. Second of all, this yarn I won on Instagram a few years ago, so that was also a big gift. And America yarn is amazing yarn that I received from my amazing friend. She had in her stash for a while, and she thought to send it to me, and basically use it all, enjoyed so much. So I'm so happy about this because the yarn that I knitted with was gifted to me. Well, I won, gift, same thing for me. Yeah, and the pattern was on sale 50%, and I can gift it now, so kind of share the love that way too. That's why I like knitting too. Maybe let's talk about tools. To have a beautiful bag, that's something that probably every knitter, every crafter loves to have. And this bag I got again as a gift from my friend from Canada, Handmade Bags by Diane. She spoiled me rotten, and I included my keychain over here, sweater, just to know what I'm doing and what kind of, how many whips I have and what is in the bag. So that's that. When you're at a certain point in knitting, I like to, when I finish yoke, I like to put the sweater or whip, work in progress, into a separate bag, and I like this shape because when I'm knitting on the body's just coming over here, and I'm just flipping in and out, in rotation like this to knit the body. So the sweater itself is not getting, I'm not saying damaged, but a little bit, you know, came down over that. And then obviously once I finish body, then I'm doing sleeves, and I can knit the same story. So this is the bag, this was the bag of my choice. Again, Handmade Bags by Diane. Beautiful, so nice. Check it out. And then needles. What needles I used. I know I told you about the gauge, so obviously follow your gauge. Don't listen to my kind of sizes over here, but the main thing what I want to tell you is just what kind of types of needles I used. So you can see over here needles. Oh yeah, straight away I mentioned these are my pouches, but I don't sell them anymore in my shop, so in case you're interested, I'm sorry. So yeah, so basically what you can see, I started on 40 centimeters, which is 16 inches, so like for hats, with a small 4-inch tips. And I used 3.5 millimeters, which is US size 3. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, it's higher, so it says on it. No, sorry. I started with 3 millimeters, to US size 2.5 for the rib over here, which starts with Tubular Cast on, but it's quite interesting one. Well, I've never done Tubular Cast on. So you cast on and then you work flat twice and then you join. That's how you start it. Just saying. So interesting. And then I used 3 millimeters for the ribbing in the bottom, and then I did tubular because that was also recommended, but the pattern goes again with the, I think, twice flat and then join. And I did my one, so on the screen a tutorial and link down below how I do it. Yeah, because the other one involved Kitchener stitch, which basically my one I presume is the same. It's just 3 phases, easier to remember, and just you go with just saying. So yeah, that's definitely one. Then when I was splitting, what I like to use just very tiny long needles that I can hold stitches with them, and use those pouches to hold those needles on the side so they hang like that. Maybe I have a photo, hopefully I took a photo, maybe I'll show you a different photo from different sweaters so you can see it to how I do it. And then I was knitting in the round using just, this is what, 9-inch, I think that's 9-inch, 23 centimeters needles to work in around to knit sleeves, and this is 3.5. So yeah, which I knit the body. So the main thing I knitted on 3.5, which is US size 3, and it's unbelievable that I got 26 stitches to be honest on that. But this is 425 meters per 100 grams yarn, so very thin, and that's probably it. If I had 400 meters, definitely I would have 24, so spot on. But this yarn is so pretty. And the last but not least, I used a meter because I had to know all dimensions and then try to measure them while I was knitting them. So yeah, something very handy to have. And tapestry needle, so I hope you know how that looks. Now let me know, how do you like this sweater? I think I love it so much. Let me know, have you knitted any Andrea's patterns? And if you did, let me know down below which one you like the most. Tag me on Instagram if you have knitted something like that, or color work sweaters. I really like some natural things. What do you think would work for me? Let me know down below. I can't wait to cast on a new one, and yeah. So I can't wait to hear more from you, and I love to read your comments, so definitely comment, like, because the pattern is amazing, and recommend for everyone to knit. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you next one. Bye.